this into an incredible country that can afford to take care of its people, and then we'll worry about the rest of the world. Let's help other people. But we're going to take care of our country first. This is about America first. It's about make America great again. We have to do it because right now we're a failing nation. So we'll take care of it. Thank you. Very good question. Thank you.
For Kamala.
Kamala.
Why Kamala?
Just because of policies. She's more vocal on her policies.
Could you name 3 of her policies for me?
Well, I mean...
Got this, man.
No, you're good, you're good. Sorry, it was just... You kind of caught me off guard.
No, yeah, they always get caught off guard. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, my mind starts to race once I start talking about politics.
Hey, I understand
like that. Y'all have a good day.
Yes, sir.
Mr. President, I want to thank you for coming and sharing your time with us today.
Thank you, Deborah.
What could you share that you've learned during the first time being in the Oval Office for those who are hesitant to vote for you now?
So we need a strong president. And, you know, I actually think we had a very stable administration. But we were hit with this weaponization. We were hit to weaponize. They've never done this before. The weaponization, all of the different Russia hoax, all of the different hoaxes, and we won every single one of them. The most important thing, and I found it, and you could say this is true in business also, we have to get the right people. When I first went there, 2016, I had a lot of good people, I had a lot of good advice, but I put people in that in some cases were not what I really wanted because I didn't know much about Washington. I was there 17 times in my whole life, and I wasn't in D.C. very much. But I got to know them, and I got to know them the hard way. And I know the good ones, the bad ones, the weak ones, the smart ones, the dumb ones. I know them all now. And the key, and we had great ones. I mean, economic development, we did so well. The military, we did fantastically well. We knocked out ISIS, 100% of the ISIS caliphate. We have some great people in the military, not the ones that you see on television, but great people. But a big key to running it is get the right people. You put the right person and the right group of people at the heads of these massive agencies, you're going to have tremendous success. And I know now the people, and I know them better than anybody would know them. So thank you very much. Thank you, Deborah.
Yeah, I believe Trump has a better vision than Kamala Harris. I mean, is it even close? Like, what vision for the future has Kamala Harris cast? We're not going back. Going back to what? Like, she hasn't specified a timeline. She hasn't said who she mean by she's not going back. Going back to Trump? Going back to Biden? Going back to Democrats? Like, what were we not going back to? And this is what I'm talking about, where I believe Trump is destroying her when it comes to vision, because Kamala's platform is hate Trump. Here's Kamala Harris HQ Lies is an account that counters all the posts that Kamala HQ makes. The lie. Trump touts his 2025 plan during his town hall. The truth, Trump didn't even mention Project 2025 in this video. We are growing increasingly concerned that the Kamala HQ is deaf, considering that they are apparently not hearing what they are sharing. Right? Because this is the tweet that Kamala Harris's HQ has made. Trump has touted his Project 2025 plan. It's not his plan. And purges the government of millions of civil servants and replace them with mega loyalists. That's not what he said, but okay. I don't know when. I didn't know when RFK became a mega loyalist. I didn't know when Tulsi Gabbard became a mega loyalist. All I thought was, hey, they just have aligning interests and they're going for it. I know Elon Musk was. I mean, this is the game, and the media let the Harris campaign play this game. It's just anti-Trump all the time. As you saw from the intro, I highlighted how this is why Kamala supporters can't name a policy, right? They want to make Trump the problem. As you saw from the clip, Trump admitted, hey, I only been to Washington 17 times in his entire life. This man's 80 years old. He's only been to Washington 17 times. He talks about his struggles of understanding who he could trust, who he can't trust, right? Part of policy is hiring the right people to execute on it. Truer words have never been spoken. This is why I say Trump is the better candidate. I want all the Kamala supporters to come in and give me their opinion here, because you're going to end up like the second clip. Y'all got nothing y'all going to be reaching. All you got is symbolism, abortion, and Trump bad. That's it. That's your platform. That's it. But when it's time to act actual policy, even Kamala's surrogates are having a hard time expressing what her policies are. And this is I bring it back to here. Kamala Harris has been in politics for 34 years since she started as a district attorney. George Washington, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Kamala Harris has held power for 28 out of the last 32 years. Yet all 5 of them are blaming Trump. And even better, they claim to have all the answers to fix America's problems. You can't make this stuff up. We're not going back. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I'm saying the Harris, they're not going back. Trump should take it. We're not going back to George Bush. We're not going back to Bill Clinton. We're not going back to Barack Obama. We're not going back to Joe Biden. We're not going back to Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is VP right now. We're not going back to the last 28 out of the last 32 years, ran by people who do not like us, who do not want us to succeed, who actively create policies that destroy and hurt the American people. If you haven't figured it out by now, our entire government is a huge mafia who launders our tax money right back to themselves through foreign aid and endless wars. Is it not true? I bet you if you break down the government spending, how much money they spend on foreign policy versus how much money they spend on domestic policy, I would wager that the foreign policy they spend more money on. This is why they're such busybodies in the affairs of other people. Because it's another pretext, another excuse to send money to reward themselves with money. Oh, look, donors, look what I've done. Boeing, you're going to get an increase today. Lockheed Martin, you're going to get an increase today. Invest in stocks before they pass bills to send money overseas. Nancy Pelosi. They all hate you and don't care, and they can care less if you suffer and die horrible deaths as long as they get rich. Look at the net worth of a lot of these senators, congressmen. How you a decimillionaire and you're only making a salary of 6 figures and you only been in Congress for a couple years? How you worth $100 million and you've been only getting a 6-figure salary? Even if you're Nancy Pelosi, who's been in office 3 times longer than I've been born, so I'm making an exaggeration, but I mean it's not that far off. She's older than Biden, by the way. You would think her net worth would be maybe 10 million plus, maybe, but this lady's worth $100 million. Trump has the better vision, man. Stop voting for the same old thing. This is what I'm talking about. You can't expect change voting for the same thing over and over and over again. Kamala Harris is nothing new. Kamala Harris is an establishment politician. She's a career politician. Have we not learned about career politicians? These people have never experienced life being us. We're private citizens. When we work our job, when the economy is going to hell, we all feel it. As Americans, we all feel it. It's hard to find a job. People are stressed out. People are struggling to make ends meet because of inflation. Your dollar don't carry the same way it did 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Who's the fault for that? You can't reward a party that has put you in this position, who has facilitated through their governance this situation. Biden, and I'll play this clip right now, Biden admitted that the Inflation Reduction Act wasn't about reducing inflation. It was used as a Trojan horse to spend money on climate change. Wow, who would have thought?
My investments, through my investments, the most significant climate change law ever, and by the way, it is a $369 billion bill. It's called we should have named it what it was, but at any rate.
But he did lay out a series of things, making his tax cuts that he passed in his term permanent. He talked about terminating the Inflation Reduction Act, which, by the way, Joe Biden admitted today they totally lied about. He admitted they should have called it a climate change bill. But he talked about terminating that and giving back unspent funds. He talked about cutting regulations. He talked about unleashing more domestic energy production. So he did give a speech today that gave you an idea of the kinds of economic principles that he would put in place.
Right, but
in his opinion,
it's easier with a broad brush.
And they would improve the economy.
It's easy with a broad brush.
If I may just go back on the efficiency issue. I actually do think voters want to hear a president of the United States say, you know, maybe the federal government does need to be more efficient. Maybe we do waste money. Maybe it's too big. Maybe we need to take a look top to bottom to see if we've been stacking bureaucracy on top of bureaucracy for so long that we have no idea what's working. So I think as a matter of what will voters say to this, and I don't know if Elon Musk is going to run it or the right person to run it or whatever, but they do believe that outsiders, business people, folks from the private sector might have something to say about how government could run more efficiently. It's one of the allures of Trump in the first place. Trump, the businessman, it's why they think he would be good at managing the economy. So I do think there's some appeal to it politically.
But we've all been around long enough.
You don't hate CNN enough, bro. Man, but Scott Jennings was saying nothing but facts there. It's not threat to my democracy. It's threat to your bureaucracy. And that's what it is. That's why they're scared of Trump. When they scream, Trump is a threat to democracy, what they're really saying is Trump is a threat to our bureaucracy. This is the reality. And if you look at it, that's how they're treating Trump. Because Trump's going to come in with his government efficiency committee, and then they're going to be like, afuera. They're going to be a Javier Milei, pretty much. Elon Musk going to come in here with a like chainsaw man. He's going to be cutting the government. Because we can't continue rewarding agencies and departments that have given us bad outcomes. My best example of this, Department of Education. How you the Department of Education, before you was created, we had the #1 education system in the world. After your creation in 2008, our education system was designated as the 24th education in the world. No one who defends the Department of Education can name one academic metric that we have improved on since the creation of the Department of Education. How much money we spent on that thing? So we spent all this money to get a less quality education compared to what we had years prior. Make it make sense, but this is government bureaucracy. And then they were going to claim Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. I don't want to go back to an inefficient government. I don't want to go back to a cabal of bureaucrats whose only job is to justify their spending and power. I don't want to go back to that style of politics. Donald Trump represents someone, no matter if you think he has a broad brush or whatever, Donald Trump has a better vision than Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris has not specified anything that all Americans can sit down and agree on. Abortion is technically a divisive issue. It is. You can't, like, at the end of the day, you're not uniting the country over that. But when Trump says, hey, I want to make education more, not education, sorry. When he says he wants to make housing more affordable, breaking Trump's plans to cut costs of new homes in half by slashing regulations so young people can buy homes again, right? People can agree with that. Okay, he's trying to get a solution at fixing the affordable housing crisis. Kamala Harris can claim that she could fix the affordable housing crisis by spending more government money, but history already proved to us that government is inefficient at actually helping people. And people are waking up to this garbage, right? Trump went out, and this is the point. This is the funny part. They want to talk about, like, this is NBC and MSNBC said that Donald Trump is a lazy campaigner, but he's out here holding press conferences, going to these conferences with these big business people in New York, laying out his plan of what he wants to do. Like make it make sense. But I think I've been talking about Trump enough. I want to highlight what he wants to do. He wants to add nuclear energy as part of how he's going to unleash American energy. Like, the difference between a Trump supporter and a Kamala supporter is the fact that as a Trump supporter, I can show you what he's saying out of his own mouth, what his policy position is. Ask a Kamala supporter what Kamala Harris's policy is. The only way they're going to find clips of her actually saying it is going to be on abortion and her denying that she's not going to ban fracking. Pseudo-denying. But then at the same breath, she's saying, I never changed my values. So which is it? Contradictory. Walking contradiction. That's what you're voting for. Political vagueness. That's what you're voting for with Kamala Harris. Someone who's acting moderate, but in reality is a progressive. Before she ran for president, many people were saying that she don't know how to talk to people in the middle and on the right. She only knows how to talk to her own base. She only knows how to talk to Democrats. She only knows how to talk to progressives. Yeah, I'm supposed to believe that she's some popular candidate? I'm supposed to believe that Kamala Harris has some vision that all Americans can stand behind? Nah, Trump got it. This is my argument. I'll hear yours in the comment section, but let's listen to this clip of Trump talking about how he would unleash American energy.
They want to close down our power plants, and we don't have power already to address this dire energy crisis that Kamala and Joe have created. I will immediately issue a national emergency declaration to achieve massive increase in domestic energy supply. What you're going to need. Electricity is desperately needed for AI. AI, controversial, but we got to be the top of it. and we would need, hard to believe, twice the electricity that we currently have right now for everything in order to be dominant. And China is already building massive electricity producing plants. We haven't even thought about it. We will think about it, and I'll get it done on an emergency basis. So we'll be the leader in AI and every other form of technology.
But Trump don't got a plan. These people, bro. Trump is the most qualified candidate out of the two. Harris versus. That's why I say Trump is more competent. But, you know, I got Kamala stands that come in my comment section, right? And try to softly imply that I'm somehow a sexist because I don't see the value in voting for Kamala Harris. And that I see many people who support Kamala Harris as emotional voters, as you saw from the intro. The second clip in the intro, a guy confronted a Kamala supporter. Okay, why are you voting for her? Oh, you know, she speaks on policy more. Okay, name three. I can't think. Because she got none. You don't know her policies. You're just listening to anonymous sources and whatever the media is regurgitating to you. You're just regurgitating that. And you want to talk about mega people having just talking points. Nah, y'all just got talking points. Pot calling the kettle black.
With these sweeping authorities, we will blast through every bureaucratic hurdle to issue rapid approvals for new drilling, new pipelines, new refineries, new power plants, new electric plants, and reactors of all types. Prices will fall immediately in anticipation of this tremendous supply that we can create rather quickly. And we'll be the leader instead of the laggard. Second,
I mean, I don't know I don't know what the Kamala stands got for me, man. I don't know what y'all got for me. All of you got is this lady who flip-flops and then pretends she's not flip-flopping. All y'all got is excuses. All y'all got is symbolism. Y'all gonna pretend she's competent when she's not. Y'all gonna pretend she's the most qualified when she's not. This Kamala Harris is just a what is it? They're just trying to create a persona around her that's not true. It's built on a faulty foundation. It don't matter how good the house is. If the foundation is faulty, it's going to collapse like a house of cards. And we'll see during the debates. But this is just a little preview that I don't believe she got much to really stand on. And here's a perspective from Jesse Waters.
Define who she really is. So like a video game, she's creating her own character. Now she's the Michael Jordan of prosecutors.
Kamala Harris has spent decades fighting violent crime. As a border state prosecutor, she took on drug cartels and jailed gang members for smuggling weapons and drugs across the border.
That's weird, because if you look at her record, Kamala's not really a cop. She's more like a criminal defense attorney. A former police chief in San Francisco says that when Kamala was DA, she proposed letting drug dealers go until their third offense, even if they were dealing in a school zone. And when Kamala failed up to the...
Imagine that. And I think recently I heard something about she wants to do a 3-strike rule for criminals, which is ridiculous. You're incentivizing more crime. You don't hate the media enough, man. The media is some of the worst people I've ever seen in my life. There's a headline out there from the AP, Associated Press, that says that J.D. Vance said that school shooters are a fact of life and call for better security, right? J.D. Vance said he laments school shooting are a fact of life and said that the U.S. needs to harden security to prevent more carnage like the shooting this week, and that left 4 dead in Georgia. This post replaced an earlier post that was deleted to add context to the prior quote from Vance. Okay, they changed it after they got backlash. You want to know what Vance said? Here it is. Here's a 28-second clip. This is why I said, yo, end of the day, the media will frame things a certain way. If you hear information from someone else, they may or may not frame it a certain way. It's up to you to verify. Trust, but verify. Always verify what is being framed to you. And see how, and look at, and think about the possibility or the plausibility of the framing. Is this framing true? I think at this point, if I was in charge of education, I'll put media literacy as a requirement before you graduate high school. Because I'm noticing a lot of people are not literate when it comes to receiving information. Lauren Chan and Tenet Media got pretty much just nuked off of YouTube merely because of an accusation. An indictment doesn't mean that you're guilty. Indictment means, hey, we want to investigate you further. You're under suspicion. That's what an indictment means. But YouTube took this as a signal of, oh, yeah, we can remove them now because they're guilty. The left love character assassination. That's one of the tactics. This is this book I'm reading, and sorry on this long-winded tangent. We're here for JD Vance. But this is book I'm reading of talking about the history of liberalism, progressivism, radicalism, and the book highlights how liberalism, it relies on a passive way of authoritarianism, right? They passively do things such as like remove things, filter out things that's the not part of their narrative, as you saw from the AP Press, what they try to do with JD Vance. They do character assassinations. They love to do stuff like that. They like to do stuff very passively. Passive aggressive is what I like to call it. Conservatives like to be more confrontational about things. They like to be open about where they stand, because conservatives want you to vote not based on ignorance, but based on knowledge, while the left wants you to vote based on ignorance, based on perception, based on narrative. Here's the reality of what JD Vance said.
I don't like this. I don't like to admit this. I don't like that this is a fact of life. But if you are a psycho and you want to make headlines, you realize that our schools are soft targets. And we have got to bolster security at our schools so that a person who walks through the front door...
Because that's one of the concerns that me and my wife have about putting our kids in public schools, is that public schools are gun-free zones. And as you know, based on the statistics of mass shooting, a lot of mass shootings happen in areas that are designated as gun-free zones, like the malls and the schools. So I see gun-free zones as targets for mass shooting. And this is one of the reasons why I'll never put my kid in public school. All right? People, like, this is why I like the left. The left, all they have is narratives. The left will try to predict this narrative. Oh, conservative parents just want to indoctrinate their kids in their values. That's my right. He's my son. He's a descendant of me. He has my DNA. He shares my DNA. Why would I not want someone who shares my DNA to also share my values? Make it make sense. But this is the left. The left believe that they should be entitled to indoctrinate your kids with their values. But they didn't help produce the kid. They didn't help maintain the kid. When stuff go wrong, they ain't going to be the one to cover the problem with the kid. It's going to be me. So I should have more authority about what values are being transmitted to my kid. And also, I can't trust them with the safety of my child. I'd rather take safety into my own hands than to trust it in the hands of people who are actively putting my kid in danger. You have an open border. You don't think they're going to smuggle, as well as they're smuggling drugs over the border, you don't think they're going to smuggle guns over the border and give criminals a disproportionate advantage at committing crime? They don't think that far. They don't think about in the 1990s, I don't remember the time, but Prohibition. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Prohibition, but pretty much the government had banned wine, and that allowed the mafia to gain a lot of power because of black market sales. You don't think that's going to happen with guns? The government don't think, bro. If you look through history, a lot of the ideas that's being pushed by Kamala Harris, they've been tried before, and you already know how this story goes. But only ignorant people don't know how the story goes. And this is what I'm saying. The Democrat Party rely on the ignorant vote. I believe with the ignorant vote, Democrats have the majority of the ignorant vote. That's just my argument. I'm not saying there's not ignorant Trump supporters. I'm just saying that Democrats have more of the ignorant vote than Trump. This is why. You have institutions like the media, you have institutions like Hollywood that push out a left-wing vision of the world. So if you're an ignorant voter, you're more likely to lead into what you're being taught from Hollywood, from public schools, from the media. 5 out of the 6 major news corporations are Democrat, left-leaning organizations, overwhelmingly donate to the Democrat Party. 97% of the U.S. journalism is the registered Democrats. Only 3.5% of U.S. journalists are Republicans. You're getting filtered news. You got Alexa out here, won't tell you why you should vote for Trump, but it will tell you why you should vote for Kamala Harris. Like, I'm telling you, if you're an ignorant voter, you're more likely to vote for a Democrat than Donald Trump. This is why Democrats push for voting. Everyone should vote. This is why Democrats push for lowering the voting age to 16, because they know they're voters. But you're going to sit here and pretend that Trump supporters are ignorant. Black Democrats will pretend black conservatives are ignorant. No, black conservatives are more. If you're a black conservative, on a bound of probabilities, you're more politically educated than a black liberal, than a black Democrat. Because black Democrats are just going along to get along. Black conservatives actually went against the grain. And usually when you go against the grain, you have a reason for that. But, you know, I digress. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Do you believe that Trump has a better future, a better vision for Kamala Harris and will therefore give us a better result? Or are you on the opposite end of the spectrum? You believe Harris has a better result? Let me know in the comment section what you guys are thinking in the comment section. I appreciate you guys watching the end of the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.